So guys, I'm in the hospital. I had an accident.
Jake Paul just got hospitalized, and no, it's not because of some epic battle wound. It's because he needed an excuse to cancel his fight. So, if you're sitting there feeling sorry for the guy after watching those dramatic hospital clips, do yourself a favor and save your emotions.
It's broken.
Oh, Jake, you good?
Nurse!
Jake,
Nurse, more morphine!
Oh my God.
Because after digging into everything that's been happening lately, the stranger attack, the broken rib, and this whole fight being on the line, it all starts making sense. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll see right through the act, or I'll owe you your time back.
That tough guy Mike Tyson comes out when it's not necessary to come out, I'm always in handcuffs. And it's unfortunately I have to fight and be that guy. I wish I could stop that guy.
So, the first move in Jake Paul's grand escape plan was about getting himself attacked on the street by some random stranger. It's Jake Paul we're talking about, so of course it's gotta come with a twist.
You don't want to fight.
I never have
You don't want to fight.
Whoa.
The attack supposedly landed right on his face, leaving him with a couple of bruises. Nothing too crazy. But here's where things start to get a little fishy. Jake's now claiming his ribs are broken. Yep, his ribs from a punch to the face. Make it make sense. People are out here scratching their heads, wondering how a hit to the face turned into a broken rib saga. It's like Jake is trying to connect the dots between two completely unrelated body parts. It's almost like watching someone try to put together IKEA furniture without instructions. It just doesn't add up. And let's not ignore the timing of this whole thing. A street attack, a mysterious rib injury, and, oh yeah, the small detail of an upcoming fight with Mike Tyson. Coincidence? I think not. Naturally, folks are raising their eyebrows higher than Jake's career trajectory, questioning whether this rib story is just a little too convenient. I mean, if there's one fight anyone in their right mind would want to avoid, it's one against the guy who can knock your teeth out with a single punch, even if he's old enough to get a senior discount at the movies. So, is Jake Paul really injured, or is this just his way of sliding out of what would probably be the most terrifying fight of his life?
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
But here's where the story gets even juicier. Mike Tyson isn't buying a word of it. Nope, the man who's been through more real battles than most of us can even dream of isn't falling for Jake's sob story. Tyson's seen it all. He's fought with injuries, mental struggles, and life-threatening health issues. If anyone knows the difference between a real injury and a desperate excuse, it's Iron Mike. So when Jake rolls in with his conveniently timed vague rib injury claim, Tyson's reaction is basically, nice try, kid.
Tough guy Mike Tyson comes out when it's not necessary to come out, I'm always in handcuffs. So I'm very careful when that guy comes out.
You break out in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, Tyson's whole career is built on resilience and toughness. He fought through worse than a little street fight and never used it as an excuse. So when Jake tries to pull this fast one, Tyson's having none of it. He's been around the block too many times to let some half-baked story slide. His response? Skepticism. 100% pure, unfiltered skepticism. Tyson's calling him out, essentially saying, prove it or shut up. So let's take a little trip back to 1990. Mike Tyson, in his absolute prime, was all set to fight Alex Stewart. It was supposed to be another legendary Tyson showdown, but life had other plans. Out of nowhere, Tyson gets hit with a nasty ulcer flare-up. Now, this wasn't some minor inconvenience.
Or else it's just a question.
This was a full-on legit health crisis, but here's the thing. Tyson didn't pull a Jake Paul and try to skate by with a half-baked excuse. Nope, Tyson did what any real pro does. He provided rock-solid medical proof, hospital records, the whole 9 yards to show the world that he wasn't dodging a fight. He was genuinely unfit to get in the ring. No games, no drama, just facts. Now fast forward to Jake Paul's situation, and oh boy, the difference is laughable. Jake's out here telling us about a broken rib from a punch to the face. Yeah, you read that right. He's trying to spin this wild story to avoid fighting Mike Tyson, and honestly, it's about as believable as a unicorn sighting. Unlike Tyson's ulcer situation, where every medical document was laid out on the table, Jake is giving us, well, nothing.
Oh, Jake, you good?
Nurse!
Jake,
Nurse, more
you good?
morphine!
Oh my God.
No medical records, no hospital stay proof, just a sketchy injury story that doesn't even make sense. Jake must think he can just throw out a flimsy excuse and everyone will be like, oh, poor guy. Sorry, Jake, but you're not getting the Tyson treatment. Back in Tyson's ulcer days, it wasn't just an excuse to dodge a punch or two. This was a genuine emergency. Tyson didn't just drop a line and disappear. No, his team went all in with medical reports, doctor's notes, and every possible detail about his recovery. It was so transparent that nobody even questioned his toughness or his commitment to the sport. When the fight was postponed, the world knew it was for a real reason. Tyson didn't leave any room for doubt because, well, that's how a real fighter handles things. He wasn't about to let anyone think he was scared of stepping back into the ring.
I wish I could stop that guy. That guy haunts me.
And that's why you need to believe me when I say Mike Tyson isn't the guy to back away from a challenge. Especially not when Jake Paul's suspicious little rib injury is in question. Tyson's not playing around. No more social media theatrics or vague excuses. Nope, this is serious business, and Tyson's personally handling it like he's on a mission. Forget the back-and-forth Twitter feuds. This is Mike, taking matters into his own hands, determined to make sure no shady excuses mess up the highly hyped showdown between him and Jake. If Jake's injury turns out to be as fake as it sounds, Tyson's not going to let him derail the fight or tarnish the event that's been building up to this moment.
Of my life, so it's so easy for him to come back.
Have you seen that scene in The Avengers? You ever seen The Avengers?
Love the Avengers.
Did you know that scene where Bruce Banner, the Hulk, is like, "That's my secret, Doctor. I'm always angry." And then he turns...
To make sure there's no wiggle room for any funny business, Tyson has already assembled a team of medical professionals to look into Jake's condition. He's not sitting back and letting this play out like a typical fight promo gone wrong. Oh no, Iron Mike is taking control like the legend he is. And if Jake thinks he can outsmart Tyson with a poorly timed injury, he's in for a rude awakening. Tyson's not leaving a single stone unturned, he's too sharp for that. Now, here's where things get interesting. Tyson's not just stepping into the ring as a fighter anymore, he's out here playing detective. He's making sure his legacy, his reputation, and the integrity of the sport stay intact. Tyson knows the damage a fake injury can cause, not just to the fighters, but to the sport itself, the fans, the whole industry. He's seen fighters pull stunts before, but this time he's ready to expose Jake if the injury turns out to be as bogus as it sounds. Tyson's not going to let some YouTuber turned boxer mess with the sport he's built his life around. Now let's talk about the massive $350 million fine hanging over Jake's head like a dark cloud. Tyson didn't hold back when he made it clear. If Jake's caught faking this injury, he's looking at a financial disaster that could wipe out his entire career.
And like have a phone call like with my lawyers for one of the lawsuits, and I knew that it was gonna be like a big L. And it, like, I'm just sitting on the phone call for literally like something I did not do. Like it's and it goes back to like,
we're talking about $350 million. That's not just a slap on the wrist, it's a life-ruining penalty. Jake's net worth? Somewhere between $20 to $25 million, which isn't even close to the fine Tyson's talking about. In other words, if Jake can't prove his injury, he's financially done for. And let's not forget, paying a fine like that would mean Jake has to sell everything. We're talking houses, cars, businesses, everything he's built through his social media empire and boxing career would be on the chopping block. He'd be left with absolutely nothing. Tyson isn't playing around with this one. He's not just issuing idle threats, he's making it clear that Jake's entire financial future is on the line. And it's not just about the money, it's about sending a message.
they're suing me for something I didn't do. Like, on God, it's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking money for no reason. And I'm like, it just pisses me off.
What makes this even worse for Jake is that Tyson has the power to make this fine stick. This isn't just some Instagram spat that blows over in a few days. Tyson's got enough influence in the world of boxing and beyond to enforce this fine. Jake might be used to playing games and stirring up drama online, but this is a whole different league. Tyson's talking about legal consequences, and Jake's finally realizing that he's way out of his depth. For Jake, there's no easy way out of this situation. He's trapped in his own web of half-truths and questionable injury claims. If he's faking, that $350 million fine will obliterate everything he's worked for. If the injury is real, he still has to prove it, something that's been suspiciously missing so far. No matter how you slice it, Jake's stuck, and the walls are closing in fast. Tyson's already made it crystal clear. If Jake can't whip out real hard evidence, think hospital records, x-rays, and doctor's notes, the fight is still happening. No games, no delays. Tyson's not here for excuses, especially from someone who's built a career on social media stunts. This isn't Instagram beef. This is the world of boxing, and Tyson's calling the shots.
He's a shit talker, you know, and he'll get under your skin.
Listen, this is what I found out from how old am I now? 58? You know what I found out? The shit talkers get all the money. The shit talkers get all the attention.
Yeah.
The shit talkers get everything. We get a bad rap, but we get everything else.
Tyson's not just rolling his eyes at this situation. He's pissed. He's even gone so far as to suggest bringing in his own team of independent doctors to check Jake's injury. That's right. Tyson's not trusting Jake's personal medical squad or any Instagram sob story. Nope. He wants outside professionals to give Jake the once-over and make sure this rib injury isn't some cooked-up fairy tale. Tyson has seen every trick in the book, and if Jake thought he could just slide by with some vague excuse, Tyson's making sure that's not happening on his watch. Jake Paul's career has been built on controversy from day one. He went from YouTube antics to somehow turning himself into a headline-grabbing boxer. And let's be honest, drama follows him like a shadow. Trash-talking his opponents, making bold claims about his skills, calling out some of the biggest names in the sport, it's all part of the Jake Paul formula. But this is different.
Like, some crazy shit can happen in that ring.
Hey, but it's who we are. Forget what everybody says. This guy's a YouTuber, this is a YouTuber. This guy's a fighter.
This fight with Mike Tyson was supposed to be Jake's moment. A chance to go from being an internet sensation to proving he could actually hang in the ring with one of the all-time greats. But now, instead of glory, Jake's staring down what could be the biggest PR disaster of his career. Up until now, Jake has been a master of keeping the spotlight on him, turning every controversy into an opportunity. But with this injury claim, the wheels are coming off. If this turns out to be a lie, it's going to destroy his credibility in the boxing world. And boxing isn't like YouTube. You can't survive on hype alone. You need to be taken seriously. And right now, Jake's credibility is hanging by a thread.